struggling to get leads on Google, I'm going to show you one of my foolproof Google ad lead generation strategies that generates me and my clients hundreds of leads a month, and it's dead simple. So the use case is for small accounts with lower budgets. It's not anything fancy and it's not going to make you billions of dollars, but it is a starting point and anybody can do it. It's ideally suited if you are offering services like accounting, solar panel installations, all that sort of stuff, and it's made for new advertisers. So let's just get in, and first I'm going to explain the strategy, how it works and why it works, and then we're going to move on to actually implementing it in Google Ads, and you're going to see just how easy it is. So let's go over the theory of the strategy and why it'll work. So why is Google Ads so good and why do people love it? Particularly for generating leads. Well, it all goes down to purchase intent. When someone looks something up that they're looking for and you pop up and you're exactly what they're looking for, it's very, very easy to sell you. Inbound leads from Google are very easy to deal with as they already know about your product, your service, and they're actively looking for it. So let's think about a solar panel installer. Well, if someone searches up for buy solar panels near me or solar panel installer near me, they're very likely to be at the very bottom of the funnel, already aware of solar panels, the benefits, all that sort of stuff, and they're ready to buy. So again, they see your ad on the search results, they click on it, and they're very likely to convert straight away. But unfortunately, when running Google Ads, Google is your enemy. That the default settings and various suggestions by Google will torpedo your campaign's performance. Rarely anything they ever suggest is actually a good idea. Broad match, default PMAX, or various bidding strategies are actually going to cost you way more money and decrease the amount of leads you get. So we don't want to trust Google. We're going to develop our own strategy. And just to give you an example I'm talking about, if you use the Google's recommended or default setting of using broad match for your keywords, to use the solar panel installer example, if you want to bid for the high intent keyword solar panel installer, Google will just ignore you and bid for like solar panels. And the difference between bidding for solar panels and solar panel installer is that solar panels is mostly searched up by kids looking up to learn what solar panels are. It's searched up by people with zero intent to purchase solar panels. You never want to bid for the keyword solar panel. While the keyword solar panel installer near me is going to have monumentous purchase intent. So that's what broad match does. It just ruins your campaigns. And that's why we can't trust Google's default settings or any recommended things they give you. So we have to make our own strategy. And we need to make a strategy that works. And this is the strategy that generates hundreds of leads for the various companies that I work with. And it's a very straightforward search campaign using exact match keywords. So you don't need to know what any of this actually means. It's just to get an idea why the strategy exists, why we do it, and let's now show how you make the strategy yourself. It's not complicated, it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so here we are in campaign creation. We're going to use the example of a solar panel installer and just really quickly make a simple campaign. So the first thing we're going to do is set up conversion tracking on your website. How you do that is relatively straightforward. Just watch my video here. It doesn't take long. It's just we want to be able to track phone calls and lead fill forms on your website. We need this data to make an optimized campaign, and it's essential. Don't start running campaigns without it, even though we're not going to be using it at the start. And click on leads, and you can see I have a bunch of conversion actions here. We're going to be using all of them. You want as many as possible. Not all of these are getting tracked as primary conversions. Some of them we just want to see, like if someone downloads something. We want to see if people from like one specific keyword are downloading a lot of files but not filling in forms. So we want to track stuff like that. You track it as secondary conversions. And then we're going to select the campaign type, and it's going to be search. And we want to focus on website visits. Now you don't want to click on lead form submission because these are like in-engine lead form submissions. They're kind of worthless. So we want people to go on our website and do these actions, not on Google. All right, and let's set up the actual campaign now. So for our bidding strategy, we want to go for clicks. We don't want any conversion tracking, anything like that just yet. And you can set a maximum cost per click because cost per clicks can be quite high, but just start off without anything like that. Just maximize clicks and no max cost per click. All right, so the first thing you want to do for your campaign settings is turn off these two networks. We don't want them. They are garbage traffic. We don't care. The next thing you want to do is set your location settings. So in our location settings, what we want to do is go into location options and turn off interest. So when you're offering service locally, you want to target people closest to you. This will not do that. So with interest turned on, what Google will do is people interested in this area could be targeted by your ads. This could mean neighboring states, even neighboring countries, all that sort of stuff. It's just junk. We want presence. We want to make sure people who we target are actually living or currently in the area. And then for actual location, what we can do is we can type in an entire area. So it could be an entire city like Miami. Miami is quite a big place. If you're a solar panel installer, you might not be serving all of Miami. So what we can do instead is go to advanced search and click on radius, then type in Miami and then a mile radius around it. So now it's only a certain bit of this urban area. And this can help you out. Obviously, if you're in a specific area, you can type in an address and just literally do a 20-mile radius around your location. So that's how that works. And then for languages, we want to just select English, audience segments. We want to ignore all of this, never touch any of this. It doesn't matter. It's a search campaign. So the search interest is already there. We don't need to bother. And all it's going to do is going to excuse Google to do weird stuff that we don't want it to. Broad match, it should not even be possible if you turned on because we don't want it. It's awful. And then automatic created assets. What this does is basically Google will generate headlines and topics and images for you. We don't want that. Google can mess things up quite badly, and it's not a lot of setup work to do. So just never do it. Just do it yourself. It's not worth the risk. And then an ad schedule, what you can do is you can just change when your ads are running. So I always recommend if you're taking phone calls or whatever, just do Monday to Friday. You don't need to, your ads don't need to run 7 days a week. So just do Mondays to Fridays. Don't set your time because, you know, someone could look you up in the morning but call you in the evening. And you can save a little bit of budget because you're not spending money on Saturdays and Sundays when people can't call you. So let's continue onwards. And this is the keyword and asset generation thing. We don't actually want to engage with this whatsoever. Google will give you terrible results from this. And now we're finally in ad creation where you can get to create our asset. Okay, so if you're a solar panel business, as I mentioned before, what you want to do is just literally solar panel installer. So what you want to do is literally type in solar panel installer near me with these little square brackets. The syntax you use will determine what match type Google will use. So when you do square brackets, it's exact match. So your ads will only show up on the searches with that are the most relevant to the keywords that you put in. So with solar panel installer near me, you're going to show up for that query, solar panel installer, that sort of stuff. Very good, very specific keywords. While if you did something like this is called broad match. And what's going to happen is Google will be aware that you're trying to target this very specific high intent keyword, but it will run ads on like solar panels. And solar panels is an awful keyword. We don't want our ads anywhere near that because there's no purchase intent, and it's most likely being Googled by children, students learning about solar panels and literally being like, huh, what's that? So it's worthless to us. We don't want that. So that's why we use syntax and we do the square brackets. So now onto the actual strategy. What we're going to do is we're going to type in literally your exact business and your exact services only. So for our solar panel, it will be solar panel installer near me, solar panel installers, residential solar panel company, solar panel install, solar panel solar PV install company. These sort of keywords, these are very high intent keywords. So you can do, there's a lot of variations you can do. Now exact match will catch them. So solar panel install will probably, so if you put in the keyword residential solar panel company, you're probably gonna, it'll get triggered for solar panel company as well. So that's good, we want to use that. So you don't have to spend too long thinking about this. It should be maybe 4 to 8 keywords here of literally your company and your exact service. That's it. And that's all the keywords we really need. And now let's get into our actual ad. Your ad is going to be brain dead simple because people are literally looking for what you're selling. What we're going to do is we're just going to have 3 headlines. One is going to be basically the keyword and establishing relevance to what the user searched for. And then we're going to have some benefit, and then we're going to have an offer. And that's our entire structure. The headline is literally just solar panel installers, and that's it. Our next headline is fast and easy installation. That's some sort of benefit. And then we have our offer. Our offer is a free quote in under 30 minutes. And that's all that your ad needs to be. It's not very complicated. Now have some descriptions. You can expand on your service there a little bit more, and then your offer. It really doesn't have to be complicated. I'm going to scroll to the call section. We're going to look to add a phone number. Make sure you make sure you add a phone number. People love calling. It's really easy for people to call, and it's just good business. It's going to increase the amount of leads you get substantially as people can easily find you and call you. So make sure you add a phone number, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom and you press next. Now, this is the last step, and this is where we're going to be setting our budget. Our budget can be as low as $25 per day, but generally I'd recommend you spend at least $400 per week for your first 2 weeks running Google Ads, because we're going to be starting off on maximize clicks, and our goal with our campaign is to get 2 weeks worth of data. You're going to start picking up conversions, you're going to get phone calls, you're going to get email leads, and you're going to get form fills, and we're going to track all of that and find which keywords and ads are performing the best. And once we get 5 or more conversions in those first 2 weeks, we're going to switch it over to max conversion. So I'll explain that in a minute. So let's set our budget at $80 per day. If you're running it only 5 days a week as I recommended, then that adds up to $400 a week, which is what we're looking for. Now Google will say 560 here because it hasn't considered the ad schedule which we set, which is only Monday to Friday. So our campaign is here, and it starts off as max, and it starts off with a bidding strategy for maximize clicks. So after 2 weeks of running your campaign, you should have easily gotten at least 5 conversions. That's 5 phone calls, 5 form fills, or 5 emails over to you. And once you land all those conversions, we're going to be looking to switch our bidding strategy from maximize clicks to maximize conversions. And we're going to turn off set a target cost per action, and we're just going to let it do its thing. So that's the strategy. And I'm in an account here going back 7 days that has a little bit more of a sophisticated version of this strategy, but you can see it's clearly working, and it's working really well with 23 leads for only $270. Now don't expect to start off there, and you have to tweak the strategy a little bit to get results like this, but you'll get it pretty close with just a straightforward campaign like that. And it's really that simple. Now obviously it won't make you $1 million or anything like that, as it's a pretty rudimentary strategy, but it works, especially if there's a lot of advertisers in your area. You will get fantastic results from very little upfront investment. And once you're getting consistent leads from Google, you can play around and experiment with it a little bit more. So yeah, if you like this video, you can like and subscribe. I have a bunch of other videos that will help you out on my channel, or you can go on my website where I have a bunch of tools, guides, resources, or you can contact me directly via email or the number on my site. So yeah, have a good one.